Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Here are some pearls of wisdom this morning. We should all live so that the preacher doesn't have to tell lies at our funerals. Morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot. Come on, Patriots, call in with our Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday. Good morning. And a good morning to you and yours as Kate Smith fades off out of the stage left, and we say good morning. And Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, don't forget, too, they got a big tire sale going on right now. And some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Lorna. How are you?
Hi, doing good.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done, my dear friend. Thank you so much, Lorna. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend, all right?
You too.
All right. Thank you. Weather forecast coming up right now, brought to you by K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Oh, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. Roger and the crew, they get there early in the morning at 7 a.m. to serve you. And they know that, I'll tell you what, you want all the power rakes and the rototillers. You want to get ready for spring and summer, and you want the lawnmowers and the forklifts and the power tools. Oh, yeah. They've got it all for you. The best tools and equipment, K&R Rental, and that's, of course, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. You can call them at 678-3122, and right now they bring you the weather. Right now they bring you the weather. And for the third time, they bring you the weather wheels.
I apologize, sir. We're trying to get it rectified.
All right. Well, it looks like that should have been checked on, but we'll go ahead and tell you that we think we're going to get a few rain showers today with a high of about, 58, 59 degrees, and I'm sure the wind's going to blow a little bit. And we offer apologies for not having that weather ready to go, and hopefully it'll be ready next hour. K&R Rental bringing you a very limited weather forecast, and they're located at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn on the Burley-Paul Highway, 678-3122. Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $1.31, $1.31.
Oh, don't forget today is sale day at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, with Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy. The sale that works for you. And sale time at 10:30 this morning. Don't you forget they're going to have butcher cows coming in from P-Bar S Dairy, Funk Dairy, TLK Dairy, and Acme Dairy. And a great big trailer line run of cattle. Sale time is going to be at 10:30 this this morning. And don't forget, Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, with a number to call for sale information or cattle consignments, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, he gets the steer calves there here to get all 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135.5, selling $1.35. Does that bell get the bottom again?
Thank you, Merv. And right now we also want to acknowledge the fact that Ramsey Heating and Electric, for all your heating and cooling and electrical needs, at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. They also get there early in the morning at 7:30, and they stay till 5, Monday through Friday. They are the best. They've stood the test, and believe me, they are celebrating almost 60 years of serving you. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. I appreciate the calls. Give me a jingle at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to spend a little bit of time this morning in this first hour, maybe even more than a little, talking to you about how the liberal left is trying to impose their own gun control on us. And we're going to get into, there was a letter in the paper this morning that kind of set the tone for this morning's program by a woman by the name of Linda Sturman, and she laid out her points of interest on what she wants done in the form of gun control. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then also, I read a story this morning about Deerfield, Illinois, and they have taken some very serious steps to curb our Second Amendment rights. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. Don't forget Denny's Restaurant. Ooh, how could you forget a great place to go eat? Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland and Burley, and also at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Absolutely great menu choices, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, anytime, all the time. You stop in and see them today. And nice people, too, serving you. They really care. So stop into America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. It's the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch, and our next lunch bunch will be coming up on the 19th of April, I believe, and we'll keep you informed on that. Denny's Restaurant in Burley. You stop in and enjoy the great food today. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. There was a letter in the paper this morning, the Times News, and it was written by a lady by the name of Linda Sturman of Twin Falls. And I by no means discourage anyone from voicing their opinion, but I want them to know that they're fair game on this program for me to criticize and also challenge their education on certain issues. Well, she went through and she laid out a point-by-point plan as to what she would like to see done regarding gun control or gun issues. One of the points said, and I quote, legal age to own a gun or ammo of any kind is 21. That's her words. Well, first of all, I don't think she gave a lot of thought to that. Legal age to own a gun or ammo of any kind is 21. We have young people at 18 years of age that are going overseas, putting their lives on the line, holding weapons of war, trying to protect other countries and other citizenry. And I think it's totally ridiculous for us to challenge their age when they come back home and say that they can't go hunting with their uncle, their dad, whatever, and not own a weapon at 21 years of age. And that also basically says these young children can't have a BB gun, they can't learn gun safety with a pellet gun. All of this is rather ridiculous. Then she said people under 21 may get a hunting permit after a background check. Oh, my goodness, we're now going to start treating these young people that want to get into outdoor activities and enjoy what we have here in the state of Idaho with some of the best hunting and outdoor experiences. Now they have to go in for a background check. And then here's the one that really floored me because of, quite frankly, Linda Sturman's, I would say, stupidity. The gun owner is responsible for their guns. Okay. But then she says, if your gun is used in any act of violence towards any individual, you are responsible. You can be sent to jail for the injury your gun caused. So I am assuming by that statement that if someone has guns stolen from their home or whatever, she's saying that the gun owner is responsible for their guns and they should also be sent to jail. That is one of the most ludicrous, stupid statements I have ever read. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, these wackos, and that's what she is a wacko, always go after the innocent gun holder. They never go after the criminal. They never go after the crazy. All they want to do is take rights away from citizens. I bought my first gun when I was 8 years old. I didn't get it till I was 12, but I laid it away when I was 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $0.25 a month.
Oh, my.
For that first gun. I've still got it.
Uh-huh.
They always go after the innocent guy, the legal gun owner, the guy that's never broken the law. I want to know what in the heck's the matter with them. Why can't they go after the real problem, the criminal, the drugger, the people that are sick in their head? That's who needs to be gone after, not the innocent guy, not the young kid that's learning to go outdoors and get good exercise and good training for future life.
Jerry, I think that was extremely...
It just makes me upset to no end.
I understand.
The next thing they're going to be after is the baseball bats and the knives, because they kill far more people than guns by far and away. It's just ridiculous what they're doing.
I couldn't have said it any better myself, Jerry, and what you said this morning coincides with what happened in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. Jerry, God bless you, and thank you. Thank you for your call this morning. He's gone. Okay. Jerry said that very well. I'll tell you what happened in accordance with what Jerry was just talking about in Greensboro, North Carolina. So stand by. I want to tell you about that in just a minute. I also want to remind you about Pomerell Place. If you are a senior and living at home, and that's not a good thing because you're all alone and there's a lot of safety hazards and potential injuries, and you're probably not sitting down and eating the best and maybe even missing some of your medication. Listen, call Pomerell Place, a place for senior living, and they offer the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. Call them today, 677-8212. Bit my tongue. 677-8212. 1301 Bennett Street in Burley, Pomerell Place, serving you. Also, quickly, and we'll take some more calls, I really want you to get involved in this, is Dino's Septic Service over in Rupert. Oh, my, serving the entirety of Magic Valley. I'm going to give you the numbers right now to call, and they are 436-6526 or Burley 678-1638. Dino Septic Service, with the ability to serve you with your septic tanks being pumped, backhoe service, water and sewer lines installed, sewer and sink drain lines cleaned, septic inspections, liquid waste removal, the list goes on. And they pull into your yard with fast, fare, friendly service with that big truck that says, "Smells Cargo" on the way. Dino's Septic Service. You get a hold of them today. What happened in Greensboro, North Carolina goes right along with what Jerry was saying on the phone just a moment ago, that the left is going after innocent people, innocent, God-fearing citizens that are gun owners. I am one. I'm sure that many of you are also in that category. And making us feel like it is our liability, our fault, and we are guilty if anything happens. Now, I, for one, agree totally with Jerry Voss that this has got to stop. This has got to stop. There was a man last night at a meeting of the city council in Greensboro, North Carolina. Many of you may have seen him on the news this morning. He stood up and absolutely lambasted the city council, and he needed to. The city council had revoked the license for a gun and knife show that they've had there for many, many years. And this man stood up and said, wait a minute. Why are you canceling an event for us, the majority of people that are God-fearing, gun-owning people that abide by the laws? Why are you singling us out, even though we're the majority, and saying that we are of guilt in any of these crimes that have been committed? And he went on, and he was excellent. The city council wanted to cancel the show, but his point was, why blame and hurt the majority for what a criminal killer does? And I ask you that same question this morning. If your neighbor is a nutcase and goes out and commits a crime, why then should the entire neighborhood be assumed as also guilty? That's kind of a loose-ended appraisal, but that is basically what these people, the liberals, are doing, is they're saying, oh, well, there's a guy that committed a crime with a gun, so that means that all these gun owners are equal to him. They're all evil, and they're all going to commit a crime. Caller, I'm going to ask your patience. Just stay with me a moment. I've got to get this word in. I need to take care of this really fast. Don't forget Airvana, defined as the ultimate level of comfort you'll achieve with the presence of a new Lennox home comfort system. When you buy a Lennox system at Ramsey Heating and Electric, you can get up to $1,700 in rebates. Airvana, just another great way to make you feel better. Call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459 or visit them online at ramseysonline.com. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell, and how are you today?
I'm really kind of teed off with calls we had yesterday saying our coverage is limited, and then, of course, with the attitude of the American public and this woman and twin saying that responsible gun owners are all guilty, basically. I'm upset this morning.
Well, I'm right there with you. You know, when are people going to wake up and realize it's not the gun that's killing the people, it's the person pulling the dadgum trigger? You know, our grandson has been around firearms and started using firearms when he was very young, like 4 and 5. Why are his rights going to be taken away? And he's one of the most safety-conscious teenagers out there that I've seen in a long time, not just because he's mine, but he's been taught.
No, let me jump in here for a minute.
Knives. Are they going to start banning knives and pencils and spray cans?
Yeah.
Because.
Are you still there, Donna?
Yeah.
Oh, all of a sudden it went dead, and you scared me there for a minute. I thought you dropped the phone. I thought maybe George came into the room and took it away from you or something. No, but let me jump in and say this: that when you have people like this Linda Sturman that have some kind of a wide awake epiphany, as she called it in the letter, to come out and say that, well, if you have a gun and if somebody commits a crime with your gun, you're as guilty as they are, so you're going to go to jail. Do you realize, in my opinion, I want to get yours on this, if you have a gun in your home and you have a home burglary and they come in and steal your gun, and even though it was locked up or whatever in your home, they broke the sanction of your safety in your home, they took your weapon, and then this woman says that you should go to jail too because you weren't with your gun 24/7. This is complete idiocy.
Oh, I totally agree. It's like I said, are they going to start banning everything?
Yeah.
You know, you can kill somebody with your finger.
Well, I don't want to get into the causes, and I don't want to get into how you can hurt someone. All I'm saying is that why are legal gun owners, you, George, anybody else in the audience, why are we lumped into a category of becoming all of a sudden serial killers because a kook, a crackpot, and a very dangerous person in society commits the crime?
Oh, no, I'm right there with you. I don't understand either. That's what I was saying. I don't understand why these people can't get it through their thick heads. I'm not going to be responsible if somebody steals my gun and shoots somebody. I wasn't there. I wasn't pulling the trigger.
Yeah. Donna, thank you, and please go wake up George. It's 8:30 in the morning.
I'll see if I can shake him out of there.
Okay, thank you. God bless. All right, thank you very much. Dear friends right there. Caller number 2, I appreciate your patience. Don't go away. I've got to get this in. You know, it's going to be a busy time of the year for the next 6 weeks. Hey, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. You know, you need to get out and maybe clean up your yard and work outside, and you're going to be doing all the lawn mowing. Well, have you got yourself in physical shape so that you're not going to be tearing those muscles and all sore all over and your joints are in shape? Listen, if you do suffer an injury, you need to get hold of my friends. They can help you. They will help you at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Nick Greenwell and all of his physical therapists are there to serve you, along with that great hydrotherapy pool. Call for an appointment, 678-1191, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Caller, good morning, and thank you for your patience.
So, good morning. I have a question. Now, does that mean that you need to sleep with your vehicle at all times in case somebody might steal it and go and hurt somebody, and that makes you liable because somebody stole it and killed somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. The logic that is used, or I should say the lack of logic that is used, that it's nothing more than a ploy. You can see through this, Sharon. I know you can.
Oh, yeah.
It's nothing more than a ploy to say that if you own a gun, we are going to hold you out over the windowsill, and if anything happens, we're going to throw you in jail too, which is a very evil way of, and a sinister way of having more gun control because they're trying to put the fear of people, oh, gee, if I own a gun and somebody steals it, they're going to throw me in jail. This is absolutely stupid.
Well, and they're taking away the accountability of the individual who committed the act.
Absolutely.
And making it so that they are not accountable for their actions.
Absolutely.
And that's how they're getting off and being able to be the criminal that they are, is because they have no accountability for what they've done.
Why do we denigrate, why do we kind of put off on an island honest, God-fearing people that are gun owners and ridicule them and slander them, and barely anything is ever said about the perpetrator of the crime?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense at all. And it's just like with the media on this one shooting yesterday, because the individual didn't fit their profile, you're not hearing much of it on the news.
You have hit the nail on the head. This woman was a lefty, liberal, vegan, animal rights person, and, the media thought, well, maybe we better not put that story to the forefront. We'll kind of put that on page 27.
Mm-hmm. But yet, if somebody were to steal our gun and go out and commit a crime, you and I are the ones that would be vilified.
Can you imagine, seriously, whether it's you or me or anyone else that's in the public eye, somebody does that, and that stupidity of perhaps what this Linda Sturman wants as far as holding you and I and others responsible? My goodness, that would absolutely accomplish the goals of the liberal loon left to have gun control, because nobody in their right mind would want to take a chance that it might be stolen or whatever, and some nincompoop's going to commit the crime. That's going to be less than you and I as the gun owners. We're going to be held liable.
And then the wicked people of the world would be able to have control over everything because we could not defend ourselves.
Well, I couldn't agree more. You know, I'm surprised you called because you're still basking in the glow of being newly married.
I know, huh? It's kind of exciting.
How's everything going?
Going doing wonderful.
Well, I salute and compliment you and your husband and hope all goes well. Thank you so much for your call.
Thank you. And thank you to those who came and did the meet and greet. That was fun to see some of our radio people.
And I apologize, but that was Good Friday, and I was sitting in a pew. All right. Thank you, Sharon. God bless. Thank you. Hey, don't forget, coming up next week, the Great Big Salmon Select Horse Sale. Oh, my goodness, you don't want to miss this. It's going to be absolutely fantabulous up at the Lemhi County Fairgrounds. Fred Snook is the man that puts it all together, and they're going to have outstanding horses in the horse sale and the Great Big Mule Sale. The Mule Sale is going to be on Friday the 13th, and then the next day on the 14th, the Great Big Horse sale is going to take place up there in Salmon. Don't forget, for more information, contact Fred Snook at 208-756-2125. This isn't just a horse sale. This isn't just a mule sale. It's a happening up there in Salmon at the Lemhi County Fairgrounds. Salmon Select Horse and Mule Sale. Don't you miss it next week. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Caller, thank you for your call. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, Zeb. I'm calling back. You know, according to this woman's logic, if you own a home or you rent a home and somebody comes and breaks into it, you're the guilty party.
Yeah.
If you own a car and somebody steals it, you're the guilty party. It's ridiculous what she is saying. It makes no sense at all.
Well, it's a liberalized attempt to...
Why in the heck do we put this kind of stuff in the paper?
Well, wait a minute, Jerry. Now, there I'm going to stop you on. Everybody has a right to voice their opinion in a First Amendment free society. So I'm not going to criticize her for putting this in the paper, but actually, I thank her for putting her stupidity in the paper so that we, you and I and others, are more aware of what the left is even considering.
Well, it's just completely ridiculous. It turns the whole world upside down. It makes the criminal innocent and the innocent party the criminal. Oh. And to me, that is dead wrong. There's nothing right about it at all.
I think you're going to even get more mad when I talk about the next story that's coming up in just a minute. Jerry, again, thank you for your call. I do appreciate it.
Give me a heart attack. You better be careful.
Jerry, thank you. God bless. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. May the Lord bless.
He already has. Caller number 2, I'll be right there. I want to remind everybody about Berry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts. Hello, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan. And over at 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls with Eli, and also a Napa location. Get ready for lawn mowing. Yeah, buddy. Get ready to get out there and be the king of your lawn on a Walker mower. Oh, my goodness. They are good. They can cut the grass, and you'll have a good time doing it, too. Walker mowers available at Berry Equipment and Rental. Equipment rentals, equipment sales at Berry Equipment and Rental, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and up in Napa, the best, Berry Equipment and Rental. Caller, you're very patient. Thank you. Go ahead.
Mr. Zeb.
Yes, sir.
You know, we need to study these people that do these mass shootings and get a method of operation and who's doing it, and that's the ones we need to target, not to have guns.
Oh, yeah. Let's do a comprehensive survey study and whatever to find out why these crackpots and kooks and ne'er-do-wells want to commit such heinous crimes against society. Let's try to bird dog these people up front so that if we have any inkling they're going to do something as heinous as this, we can get them under lock and key. But why point the finger at you and I and others as being almost guilty parties associated with these people?
Well, that's my point. They blame the gun owner when a gun does something, but when a Muslim does something, oh, you can't blame all Muslims.
That's exactly right, and you stole part of my thunder in about 15 minutes. And I'm glad you did, really, I am. Because there is the feeling from the people in politics all the way down to the people that are at CSI and the Twin Falls City Council. Oh, how can you possibly lump them all together with hatred and vile remarks? Well, Isn't the left doing the same doggone thing to gun owners in the United States right now?
Yep, the door swings two ways.
You better believe it. Listen, let me throw this story at you real quick. I got a whole line of callers, and caller number 2, I'll be right there, I promise. Did you hear what Deerfield, Illinois did yesterday?
Yep.
Did you?
I did.
They approved.
I think that needs to go to the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
To see if it is constitutional.
Absolutely. And let me tell the audience, you're aware of it, but the Deerfield, Illinois, it's a suburb of Chicago. They approved an ordinance to ban assault weapons and large capacity magazines, which would also go right down to the use of shotguns. And they said that these guns will be confiscated with a $1,000 a day fine if you don't voluntarily turn them in. This is nothing more than a revisit to Hitler's Germany.
Exactly. That's exactly it. When you do not study history and learn from history, you're going to repeat it. And that's exactly the road they're wanting to go down. They're wanting a dictatorship in here, and they want it to where the Democrats are in charge, the liberals are in charge, and that's their goal.
I read this, and then I made some calls, and I absolutely about fell out of my Tony Lamas. It just absolutely astounded me how they could say that if you don't voluntarily turn your gun in, we are going to come after you and fine you $1,000 a day until, here's the words they used, until the weapon is confiscated.
I know it. That is so un-American. It is so against the Constitution. Apparently, these elected officials that swear to uphold the Constitution, before they do that swearing, I think they need to take a test on the Constitution to see if they know what it says and means.
They would not pass it.
And I just real quickly, and then I'll let that other caller come in. I was listening to Rush Limbaugh yesterday, and there was a 10-year-old girl called, and she went to that Hillsdale College that you could get online and stuff. She took the Constitution 101 test and passed it at 10 years old.
Yep. And I dare say,
I doubt if many of the politicians could pass it.
Oh, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. But this story, Doug, about Deerfield, Illinois, is one that I'm not going to pass over. It's not one that I'm just going to read and talk about and then throw in the trash. This is very sinister that that city council, that village board of trustees in Deerfield, would pass something that absolutely is so dangerous.
Exactly. When the liberal left can explain to me and give me how they're going to get the guns out of the criminals' hands, then I'll start listening to them.
Yeah.
But all they're doing is wanting to take the guns out of the law-abiding citizens'
I
hands.
agree. I got to run, Doug, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, God bless, and everybody, let's do what we can for our seniors.
Amen, buddy.
Country, let's take care of them.
Amen. Thank you. Caller number 2, I'll be right there. Don't forget the Bennett boys are going to have a sale this Saturday over at the Gary Incorporated auction. It's 11 o'clock starting time, Saturday, April 7th. Oh, yes. Located Castle Ford, Idaho, 3745 North, 600 East. Look for the signs. They'll have lunch by the Cook Shack. It's going to be a ripping good sale. Tractors, travel trailers, farm equipment of all kinds, horse items. Holy cow, fishing poles. They're going to have everything at the Gary Incorporated auction this coming Saturday over in Castleford, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys can sell them all. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Part of the problem I feel that I see with what's going on is there's no repercussions for any of these crimes. They get thrown in prison for the rest of their life. Well, yeah, free good meals and a place to sleep and don't have to worry about anything else. I'm more in favor of capital punishment being reinstalled.
Well, I think capital punishment never should have faded away. I believe in the law being very tough and taking a stance against society's evil. And when somebody perpetrates a crime and hurts, maims, and kills someone, they should realize that if found guilty, they are going to lose their life. And in this case, what's going on in this country is the left wants to make everybody evil, including the person that incorporated the crime.
Well, I think you just need to follow the laws that are on the books. More laws isn't going to stop criminals. It's going to make more people criminals.
I agree with you. Roddy, it's always good to hear from you. Thank you, my dear friend. You know, but thank you, sir, very much. And we had a little feedback there, but I hope we came through okay. This deal, or this story about Deerfield, Illinois, I've been there. I've been to Deerfield, Illinois many, many times in my life. When I was born and raised in southern Wisconsin, I know that entire area. But to have their Board of Trustees approve an ordinance that is so far-reaching into the realm of illegality in this, a free society with a Constitution and a Second Amendment, and then they say that if you don't turn voluntarily your gun in, they will come after you and fine you $1,000 a day until the weapon is confiscated. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. You're busier than a one-armed paper hanger, aren't you?
Yeah, boy, you ought to see me really do my stuff in the afternoon. Go ahead.
Okay. You know, I heard it on the news the other day, and I hope it's a fact, but in the UK, they have strict gun control laws, and nobody has guns.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, they have more murders there than they do in New York City.
Keith, you're a sharp guy, and you've been a good friend for years. You don't have to be a rocket scientist that designs fuel systems for all of the rocketry in the country to understand that if evil has a gun, they're certainly not going to give it up. They're certainly not going to go down to the courthouse and say, oh, gee, I understand I have to turn my gun in. For heaven's sakes, only thing that gun confiscation does and banning on guns, like what's happening in Deerfield, Illinois, it takes the security and protection out of the hands of the people, and it lets evil thrive.
Well, we're in Great Britain and Germany, where they don't have the border laws, that's one of the problems.
Yeah.
You've taken the guns away from the people who live there and let these other people come in who have the guns.
Absolutely.
That don't make any sense at all.
Well, I just wonder, like Doug mentioned a moment ago, and I've said it earlier, I wonder how long this Deerfield, Illinois ordinance will last because of the illegality of it, and I think it should be turned into the Supreme Court. Keith, thank you again for your call. You're always right there, Johnny, on the spot. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Hey, don't forget Bob Nonini running for lieutenant governor, and this is a man that has 25 years experience in local and state Republican politics and believes in traditional family values and, of course, education. He wants parental choice. Along with natural resources, roll back the zealous federal regulations. Nonini for Idaho. That's right. Idaho needs Nonini as lieutenant governor. Bob Nonini running for lieutenant governor in the primaries, paid for by the committee to elect Bob Nonini, lieutenant governor. Treasurer R. Scott Hogue. Also, I've got to get one other good word here. Man, we are really going here this morning. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Airvana. Yeah, Airvana. Or is it Irvana? I keep asking myself that. Defined as the ultimate level of comfort you'll achieve with the presence of a new Lennox home comfort system. And when you buy one, you can get up to $1,700 in rebates. Holy moly. Irvana is just another great way to make you feel better. So call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459 or go to their website, ramseysonline.com. Does this not scare you? It does me. I mean, I have about 9 different stories I was going to get into this morning, but this one about gun control, with this absolutely ridiculous letter by a Linda Sturman in Twin Falls that makes no sense whatsoever. There was another line in there that I've got to share with you. She said, she was talking about the NRA, and she said they are to be held as a gun club, offering literature training and have no affiliation with gun manufacturers or organizations that promote hate. Linda, what do you mean? Organizations that promote hate? Are you talking about the Republican Party? Are you talking about all of the other legal gun owners in this country? What groups of hate are you mentioning? See, the letter is very poorly done by a liberal that literally does not want you and I to have a gun. And then the story in Deerfield, Illinois, that one there just turned my head. If that doesn't sound like a Nazi Germany or a Venezuela, I don't know what else does. Because they said if you don't voluntarily turn in your weapon, you'll be fined $1,000 a day until the weapon is confiscated. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I really had to bite my tongue on some of the things I wanted to say this morning. Anyway, we're going to come back with more and more of your calls right after the weather, brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Don't forget, they're right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and the number to make an appointment for a hearing screening, and I urge you to do that today, is 312-0957. 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Right now, here's the weather.
Gina Jameson, yes, we're going to see just a little bit of sun, then rain for the rest of the weekend. As a matter of fact, for today, mostly cloudy, a chance of rain, a high of 59, showers likely tonight with a low of 42. Tomorrow, rain in the morning, then mostly cloudy, 59, the high, rain coming back for Friday night with a low of 46, showers for Saturday, a high of 57, showers and breezy for Saturday night with a low of 38, and rain on Sunday. That's your 7th Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
Oh, thank you, Mount Harrison Audiology, with the doctors over there that really can help you with your hearing health. Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, and you can trust your hearing health to them because they are very knowledgeable. Call for an appointment today at 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Another story that I wanted to mention this morning is that, remember Rob Reiner on the television show in, the 70s, I believe, called All in the Family? And he played, and quite frankly, it must have been typecasting because of how he acts, Meathead. Well, he has come out and really assaulted verbally Roseanne's television show and called her, Roseanne, nothing more than a mouthpiece for President Trump, and just denigrated her, the television show. And I got to thinking when I saw that, one network, ABC, and the recreation of Roseanne, and they try to be fair and balanced in the family, and some of them are liberal, some of them are conservative, and then all of a sudden the liberals can't stand that portrayal on television, and they've got to do all they can, attacked by the left, to stifle free speech. That should be a real indicator as to how much of a problem we have in this country. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. Going back to the subject of gun confiscation, I don't know if I ever told you this before about having lived in New York and had my gun confiscated. I knew exactly where to go to get another one, which I did. So there would be no problem to start a black market on guns in this country.
You know, Tony, and again, I'm not trying to be at all disrespectful, but you are a gentleman. I think that you just celebrated, 80, how many years? 83, 4?
88.
Oh, my goodness. You're just absolutely the epitome of what we all should strive for as far as staying healthy and young and vibrant. But you've seen this happen. And when you hear stories about Deerfield, Illinois, approving an ordinance to literally go after people, innocent people, and if they don't voluntarily turn in their weapon, they're going to be fined $1,000 a day, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are the next thing they might try to say is, well, just turn your guns in down there and register, and there'd be no problem.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the last I ever saw of it. So I called an attorney to find out, told him what happened, and he asked me, he says, well, how much did you pay for the gun? I says, well, this was back in 1955. I paid $85 for it. He says, you know what? He says, if I had to go to court and try to get your gun, which you're never going to see again anyway, it'd cost you between $350 and $400, and you will never see your gun again.
Yeah. This is very scary to me, Tony, and I think that the American public, all of us that are gun owners, all of us that want to make sure that we have the home security to protect our families and ourselves, should be very concerned about any kind of a vote by any board of trustees or city council or anyone that can influence or take away our guns by a banning and a voluntary turn-in or be fined $1,000 a day. This is extremely worrisome to me.
Well, with this mob that's trying to invade our country, we're not even going to be safe out in the streets. and I'm glad I live in a free state of Idaho where you can carry a gun without a permit to protect yourself. Yeah. And I feel this is going to be a real danger for us with all these influxes of people coming in.
I have no argument against you whatsoever. I agree. Please give Mary a great big kiss. Tell her I said hello and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Zeb.
All right,
Good
buddy.
Talking to
Thank you. You know, maybe this doesn't bother a lot of you, but little by little in the news, you read these lack of intelligence letters in our own Times News, and then you correlate those with what's going on with a Chicago suburb, Deerfield, Illinois, with a ban on weapons, and if you don't turn them in voluntarily, they will be confiscated. Whoa, hit the brakes on the car here for a second. Just stop and think. What's going on here in America, a free society, with our Second Amendments? What's happening? Tony mentioned a moment ago about the border, and I am so glad, and if this offends someone, I've done my job. I'm so glad that President Trump is going to assert himself with the National Guard down on the United States-Mexican border and just say enough is enough and you're not coming in here unless you go through legal means. That's it. That's it. No more. And to some of the liberals out there that have an intelligence factor of the head of a pin, that say, well, he can't do that. Well, he can't do that. Wait a minute. Back up the bus for a minute. Put it in park and just let the motor just kind of ease and ramble for a second. It's been done before by President Bush and by the left's beloved Barack Obama. So don't stand there and rant and rail and throw your hands in the air and scream how bad Trump is and everything. It's been done before, and don't tell me it hasn't been. It's happened in the last 12 years with two presidents. And it's about high time that we utilized our National Guard to protect us, the United States of America. We come first. Like I said, if you don't like that, you're listening to the wrong program. Don't forget our friends that are our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Roll into spring with a big spring tire sale. Oh, this is a big one. Like my uncle used to say, it's a big one. It's a big one. That's right. It's a big one, all right. Great big spring tire sale with the best of tires on sale like the Eclipse for your car. All-season traction, advanced tread design, on sale. How about this for your pickups and SUVs? Open Country HT. Yeah, buddy. Great big, wonderful tread design, quiet running, smooth ride. You're going to love it. All of these tires and, of course, the best in brake service, front-end alignment, shocks and struts and batteries. Oh, my goodness. They've got it all for you, including the best of service at all 7 locations. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. By the way, the Masters Golf Tournament, yes, I like golf. I don't care if somebody thinks, what's the matter watching a bunch of guys chase a little ball. I love golf. Well, the Masters Golf Tournament starts this weekend, starts today, as a matter of fact. They're teeing off right now. And guess who is back and may be one of the favorites to win the whole thing? Yep, Tiger Woods. He's back, and he has changed. He's got a better personality. He's friendlier. A lot of people are just absolutely about tipped over with some of the kindnesses that he's shown, and he is one of the favorites to win. We're going to take a break. Be back in about 7 minutes. Zeb at the Ranch. Don't go away. Good morning, and welcome back on this Thursday, April 5th. My, how time flies. Morning to you, Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with a big spring tire sale going on right now. And then also don't forget some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, before we go over to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, I want to remind everybody about our dear friends with Airvana. Yeah, that's right. Airvana defined as the ultimate level of comfort that you'll achieve with the presence of a new Lennox home comfort system, thanks to our good friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric. And you can get up to $1,700 in rebates. Airvana is just another way to make you feel better in your home. That's right. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459, or visit them at their website, ramseysonline.com. Absolutely. You know, on this program, every day I have people that I advertise for that are really wonderful businesses and people, and I get a chance to talk about people like Joel Heward. Absolutely, with Hanson Mortuary, his family, and his staff at 710 6th Street in Rupert. Number to call, 436-5636. I urge you to remember and save that number, 436-5636. When there's the passing of a loved one, they always help your family with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Please remember again, Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, 436-5636. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line and say a good morning to, I don't know who it is. Morning, Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Who is the mystery guest?
Hi, Zeb. This is Shaylee. How are you?
I learned a long time ago I'm not going to stick my neck out until I find out who it is.
Yeah, we did have a little confusion there for a minute, but yes, it's Shaylee.
All right. What is going on over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce?
We have a lot going on, actually, so are you ready for this?
I'm sitting here wild with anticipation. Go ahead.
Okay, let's start with the ribbon cutting. So, Four Seasons ribbon cutting is today, actually, from 4 to 6 at their new location, 3012 Overland Avenue. The ribbon will be cut at 4:30. They are opening a new location that's offering a wide variety of nursery products and landscaping, home decor items, and sprinkler parts to the Rupert and Burley area. Mm-hmm. So everyone come out to that. That's today again at 4:30. And then Tree Trouble, Friday, April 13th at 4:30 as well. That one should be a great time. They're actually opening a green waste facility on Highway 30 out by Duck Uglies, so people don't have to drive so far to drop their clippings and stuff in the summer, so that'll be great. Lulabella Boutique will be Wednesday, April 18th, same time, 4 to 6. That's 1400 Palmerell Avenue. They'll be doing everything in store from 4 to 6 will be 20% off, $100 gift card giveaways. There will be live music, some food and stuff like that, so that should be a great time if anyone wants to come out to that. We'd appreciate it. Then we have, let's see, the monthly chamber luncheon will be April 12th, so next Thursday at the Drift Inn at noon. It's great B2B networking for businesses in the area to come and meet each other and talk about what's shaking. So Jeremy Smith from the Better Business Bureau will be talking about cybersecurity. Then April 12th, that same day at Maury's, is the second annual Dessert for Dogs. It's a great fundraiser that is held at Maury's Event Center at 6:30 p.m. McCain's is having a hiring event on April 14th from 10 to 2 at the Idaho Department of Labor. And then we have our big Southern Idaho Living Expo that's coming up. It is going to be Saturday, May 5th from 10 to 3 at Nature Nursery and Market. There is no entry fee. The parking lot will be filled with food trucks. There will be art contests, vendors, demos going on the stage. There will be a fashion show, a Traeger grill demonstration, so that should be a lot of fun. So if anybody wants to come to any of those events, we would appreciate the community support.
Holy cow! What kind of fashions are they going to model?
So we have a couple of our boutiques, like we're doing a ribbon cutting for Lulabella. They are a new chamber member. They're located inside Dragonfly Salon on Palmerell Avenue. So they'll bring some of their latest styles, and they'll model those. And then we have other members like Branded Boutique and Tack that should bring some stuff. Idaho Water Sports, they have all of their summer gear that they're wanting to show off. So we'll have a couple different things to go with.
You never mentioned once for cowboys and cowgirls, jeans and shirts and boots and hats. Come on, don't forget about us.
Oh, come on, Zed. Have you ever been into Branded Boutique? It is all cowboy.
Well, then, by darn, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. And all of that's going to be on what date? What date and where?
So that one will be May 5th, and it is a Saturday, and that will replace the normal Southern Idaho Women's Expo, and it will be, like I said, at Nature Valley Nursery and Market across from the Burley Golf Course. There is no entry fee. It should be a great time. Bring your whole family, bring friends, 10 to 3. And like I said, if you're interested in a booth or if you have something that you sell or something that you want to get out there and you want a booth, there's all different sizes, and we are still selling those. It is first come, first serve. Just go ahead and call the chamber. Great idea, too. I love that idea. Listen, we're in now what I would assume is a travel season, and you get a lot of people going through, and maybe they see or hear about this great area and all the history and everything. Do you keep a great big ledger or logbook on all the different people that stop in? We do. Everyone that comes into the visitor center, we ask them to sign in, or we sign them in just so we can keep a log of who's visiting. And then we actually have a map of the world, and we ask them to put a pin in there. So if you're local and you want to come by the chamber to the visitor center to see how many people have visited our area from across the world, it's kind of cool to look at. Let me ask you, of that map, which one particular reminds you of, wow, they came a long way to Burley, Idaho? It was Australia. Really? Yes. Wow. Yeah, they had come. They had family here, and we were like, okay, great. We want to stick a pin in the map. We don't have anyone from there. And did they wear like alligator hat bands and long Bowie knives in their back pocket like Crocodile Dundee? I wish they were, but no, they were just dressed completely normal. Okay. Well, normal in one person's eye is abnormal in another's. Okay. That's very true. What else is going on at the chamber? Real quick, I got a minute left. Everything that we talked about, those 3 ribbon cuttings are coming up really fast within the next week or so. And then the biggest one that we want to encourage people to look into is just call the chamber and ask about becoming a member if you have a business, or if you'd like to take your family to any activities, call the chamber and see what's going on. We can always point you in the right direction, and we usually have a way to get you discount tickets.
All right. And that telephone number is
208-679-4793, or you can visit us at 11777 7th Street in Hayburn.
Well done, my dear. Have a great week.
You too, Zeb. We'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you. Nice lady over at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce office building, Shaylee. Thank you. Really nice people over there. Let's not forget our friends at Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. The number to call, 678-1177. Don't forget, please spay or neuter your cats and dogs now through the summer. Please, we don't want to have any pets that are uncared for. And don't forget proper identification for your pets so everybody can know that that little poodle is yours. Don't forget, check it out. They take care of all animals. Mixed animal practice, big or small, Ark Animal Hospital in Hayburn. Number to call, 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Wheels, if you would, my friend, can we please hear this good word for Bob Nonini?
Bob Nonini, candidate for lieutenant governor, a principled conservative, successful small business owner, legislator, and leader in Idaho. Bob Nonini has earned a 100% rating from the American Conservative Union and received an A+ rating from the National Rifle Association. Bob Nonini, Idaho roots, conservative values, proven results.
Hi, I'm Bob Nonini, and I'm passionate about becoming your next lieutenant governor. Being an Idaho native, I grew up understanding the values of hard work and dedication. I believe education is the key to growing Idaho's economy and being prepared to tackle the challenges of the future. Parents having the right to choose how they want to educate their children is crucial. Idaho needs strong leaders who allow their faith, experience, and integrity to do what is necessary in creating a better life for our residents. Experience matters. Experience counts. The choice is clear. Idaho needs Nonini on May 15th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Bob Nonini for Lieutenant Governor. Art Scott Hogue, Treasurer.
Thank you very much. And don't forget, on Tuesdays every week, we have the lovely Miss Vicky of Vicky's Country Garden at 185 South 600 West of Paul with a show called Gardening for Idiots, named after me. And we get into all the different gardening questions, etc., and we urge your involvement. Okay? Call in or send them to me, and I'll ask Miss Vicky on the air. Vicky's Country Garden on Tuesdays at 9:30. Don't miss that. Right now, a segment that absolutely has stunned me with the quality of people at Cassia Regional Hospital, all the different departments and everything they can do, friends serving friends right here in this area. Let's have our friends with Cassia Regional Hospital up next.
People caring about you and your health care in the most professional and progressive ways. That's Cassia Regional Hospital, located at 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. In a moment, we'll introduce you to just one of the many dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Today's program, right after this. Cassia Regional Hospital provides you and your family excellent health care answers and services. They're right here, close to home. That's right. Cassia Regional Hospital offers the latest technological advances in medicine, like their new oncology programs and telehealth, which uses electronic information and telecommunications to promote long-distance patient and clinical health care. Your friends, your neighbors. Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care, close to home. I've learned a lot from this gentleman that's been on our previous programs, and he is Robert Welker, the clinical dietitian at Cassia Regional Hospital. Good morning, Robert. How are you?
Doing great, Zeb. How are you doing?
Well, I got to tell you that we hear so much about obesity, and we hear so much about Americans are fatter and heavier than they used to be. Is that really true?
You know, the trends don't lie, and as we look in Idaho specifically, and I had talked about this at a previous radio show, we saw, you know, in Idaho, 27.4% of adults are obese in our day and age, and you know that's 1 in 4 adults. When we look at kids, you know, from 10 to 17-year-olds, we're looking at 26% of children are obese. So I really think that, you know, that's 1 in 4 kids as well walking around to have this problem.
Wow. Well, what should people do? I mean, everybody likes to have maybe a cheeseburger now and again, or an order of fries, or a dish of ice cream. Are you telling them they got to kind of just eat wheat thins and sit there and suffer 24/7? What are you telling people?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of sometimes the thought, you know, oh, that dietitian's going to change my diet and make me eat just things that I don't like. But, you know, I think one of the main things is really just eating things in moderation. When we cut out things from our diet, when we're depriving ourselves of things that we like, you know, that's not necessarily what I'm recommending at all. But eating a balanced diet, you know, things that we like to enjoy and in moderation, I think that's really the key to being healthy and getting on the right track.
Let me ask you this, Robert. There's so much, every time you turn on the radio or every time television's on or you pick up the newspaper, there is always some new breakthrough. If you join this club or if you join this certain special diet for a period of time, you'll lose 30, 40 pounds. Should a person be really kind of careful about that?
You know, I'm always very hesitant to recommend any sort of fad diets. You know, and I think that's just what they are. They're fads. They come and go, and, you know, they don't stick around. If a diet that you're doing you can only do for 2 to 3 months, and then you give up and you quit and go back to what you're eating, you know, those kind of things don't last as long. But I feel like when you're eating a balanced diet, when you're really focusing on good proteins and good carbs and just getting more whole grains, you know, doing things in your life that are lifestyle changes that can be for the long term, that you can consistently do over the long term, those are the kind of things that are the better changes. When people are doing these fad diets, yeah, maybe you lost 20 pounds, but what you don't realize is that you lost 20 pounds worth of some of your lean muscle and your fat. But then once you go back to your regular diet, you know, that sometimes comes back right on, or you even gain more than you started out with.
So if you're looking at different classifications of people, whether they are 18 and under or whether they're maybe 20 to 35, and you keep going up the ladder and you get to the elderly, is there specific guidelines that people should follow on what they eat and what they should try to stay as far as in a certain weight pattern?
Mm-hmm. You know, I think a balanced diet is recommended for everyone. If you're potentially worried and maybe thinking you need to see a doctor or somebody to get a little bit more information, the thing that has been around for a long time that maybe some people don't like as well is that BMI calculator. It's great for a population. It's great to kind of get a general idea. You don't want to necessarily go by everything that says, but it does give you a good example of, you know, this is your height, this is your weight, and should I be worried? And maybe, you know, if your BMI, if you go online and just find a simple calculator to calculate your BMI and you're over 30, then it might be a good idea to chat with the doctor and get in to see us. We do extensive weight management counseling and are able to specifically do a diet plan that would fit your individual needs.
Now, the USDA, in the past, they've had that food pyramid, what you should eat and perhaps how much of it, etc. And now they've got a new proposal called My Plate. What is that exactly?
Yeah, I remember when I was in elementary school, middle school, it was that pyramid, you know, and maybe that guy walking up the pyramid, it was a little bit confusing, you know, to realize what you were supposed to be eating. But what the USDA has tried to do and really be more specific to the American diet is they've made My Plate. And what that does is it allows you to visualize a plate. You know, it gives you an idea of this is how many carbs I should be eating, this is how many protein I should be eating, and then fruits and vegetables and your dairy products. So it's really trying to be more visual, be more understandable, and be more specific, right? You know, we look at we look at a plate every day of our lives probably, and just divvying out and making sure that we're staying within the proper guidelines is really what they're trying to get to.
Okay, now we're going to get into this subject, and that's exercise. And I'm going to kind of bare my chest to the world, if you will, and then you can criticize me. In the morning, and I'm an old man, I'm 70 years old. In the morning, I get up and I do about 30 minutes of weightlifting. Now, not weightlifting for primarily strength, but for the rapidity of my heartbeat. We really go at it fast. Then after that's finished, I go out and walk about 3/10 to 4/10 of a mile, and then come back in and go to my office. I'm 70 years old, and I have a breakfast that consists maybe of a bagel and a egg, or just a bowl of cereal. How right or wrong am I?
I really like how you focus on a little bit of resistance training and cardio training. I think that's very important when we look at exercise. A lot of people will maybe just do one or the other. And I think in the combination of both is where we're going to have the most success. So when we're doing those resistance trainings, when we're working our muscles, even after we're done working out, the muscles are trying to repair itself and to get back to where it was before, and that's going to burn extra calories and things. So that's a great... it sounds like a great routine for you. And then also getting that cardio. Walking is an amazing exercise to get our heart pumping and get out and enjoy the outdoors as well. You were saying you were doing a bagel and eggs. Sometimes cereal and things, we could potentially, if we had you in our clinic, we could kind of modify those food choices just a little bit. But because you always want a little bit of a protein and a carbohydrate, I feel like, when you're eating a meal, and that'll help you digest better and help your blood sugars not be too high and get you to where you need to be.
What about people, whether they're young or elderly, and they know they're overweight, and they sit there and they go, holy smokes, I want to look like the guy on that magazine cover, or the lady say, I want to look just like her in a bikini, but boy, they've got about 30 or 40 pounds to lose. I mean, talking to you as a dietitian, can you establish goals and come up with a diet that they can reach that goal?
Yeah, and I think a lot of us as Americans want just the quick fix, right? We want to be able to say, I want to lose 30 pounds in a week or in a month, or get to that goal spot. But really, realistically, there's lifestyle changes and things that we can modify and look at your specific diet and give you more of an idea to, hey, this is something that's reasonable that I can do every day, and I can reach those goals. Sometimes people don't love the idea that it's going to take a little bit longer, but, you kind of think about it, how long did it take you to put on that weight? It might have been months to years. Those kind of things take some work, and it might take just about the same to get where you want to be, but then that's where the long-term success will really come in making those lifestyle changes, making those, moderation choices that you can sustain for the long term rather than just the short term success.
You said something a moment ago that really, really is true, and I want you to emphasize that one more time before we wrap up, is that the fad diets or the quickie diets, whatever, I mean, you can lose the weight, and you might lose a little bit of the bulk and everything, but then it's so susceptible, your body is, in getting that weight back even faster when you go back to a normalcy on your diet.
Yeah, your body's smart. It realizes that if you go on a diet, you're kind of depriving it of some of the necessary nutrients that it needs to sustain life. So if you go on these fad diets or these cutting everything out of your diet, your body will be like, whoa, I'm going to save some of this for later. I don't know where I'm maybe getting my next meal. So I really think as you eat a balanced diet, you make some lifestyle choices that are going to be successful in the long term. Your body is not going to be up on these highs and lows and wondering what's going on and trying to figure out where its next meal's coming from, but rather it's having consistent good choices all the time that'll help out, and that will get you to where you want to be.
This man is amazing with his education and his experience, and also the knowledge that he gives to everybody through his office at Cassia Regional Hospital. He is the clinical dietitian and diabetes clinic and food services manager, Robert Welker. I've learned a bunch, and if they need to find out more, want to find out more, how do they get a hold of you?
Please just call our main hospital number at the Kaja Regional Medical Hospital. We have a lot of the receptionists that will be able to just transfer you right over to where you need to be, and we would be happy to talk to you and get to know you and really be more specific in helping you be your best self.
One more great professional at Kasia Regional Hospital, people that are serving you. Tune in every Thursday at 9:18 right here on Zeb at the Ranch for more about the people and the healthcare services at your Kasia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home.
All wonderful people. I've enjoyed each and every one of those segments, getting to know those folks at Kasia Regional. Don't forget the great big Salmon Select Horse Sale coming up at the Lemhi County Fairgrounds next week. Put it on your calendar. Get up there. It's a happening. It's more than just a horse and mule sale. Holy cow, they've got all kinds of fun activities going on for the whole weekend. Don't forget, starts on Thursday with a big breakfast at 7 a.m. and all the vendors, and they're going to have a wolf howling contest. Friday's the big mule sale. Saturday's the big horse sale. All of this and more up at the Salmon Select Horse Sale and Mule Sale at the Lemhi County Fairgrounds in Salmon, April 12th through the 15th. Don't miss it. And by the way, too, I want to remind you folks about our friends over at Let's Ride. I know I'm running a few minutes late here this morning, so bear with me. I know Rita's waiting on the line. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Oh, my goodness, they've got all the side-by-sides and the four-wheelers. Fun outside in southern Idaho. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. Don't you forget. Get on over there. They've got all the accessories, and if you already have four-wheelers, they've got a super service department to make sure you're off and running for 2018. Check it out. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. By the way, also over in that neck of the woods, our friends Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, and employee benefits with devoted professionals serving you. All you've got to do is call, make an appointment, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh, my goodness. Rita Ramsey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Well, I'm running just a tad late this morning. I apologize, but I just am absolutely thrilled to have you here. I think what I'll start off with this morning is, and I feel like we're going to be mutually compatible on this subject, I don't like anybody, anywhere, threatening and demanding, we're coming into your country whether you like it or not. I think Donald Trump is doing the right thing. I think we need to have the National Guard on the border. And to all the liberals, if you don't like it, that's just tough.
Well, I totally agree with you. The thing that's happening with these people, along with many other things, is you get special interest groups involved in this, and they're totally working against America. The problem is they are Americans who are instigating all of this. These people who are coming up from the South have been brought by special interest group trying to get all of these people in here, and I don't know exactly what their agenda is, but I would be willing to bet my bottom dollar that George Soros and his affiliates are probably the main way that these are happening. I heard that when they got partially up through through Mexico, there were small towns that would actually put those people on buses. There were 1,500 of them. Put them on buses and take them to the next town. What little town in southern Mexico could afford to transport 1,500 refugees from Honduras or Guatemala or wherever?
Absolutely.
If they didn't have some money rolling in there to take care of that.
You know, and you bring up an excellent point, one of which I was going to mention to you, but you stole my thunder. You're way ahead of me, my dear. But I agree with you entirely. This is all a plan by the left to just basically put a stick in the eye of Trump's administration and those of us that want border security. But it might be backfiring, because I absolutely applaud Donald Trump saying that he's going to employ our National Guard on the border, and the left is railing and crying, you can't do that. Yes, he can, because it's been done before by both Bush and Obama, and I say go stop them.
Well, that's basically what our National Guard is for,
yes,
is to protect this country on the inside. And if they have to send the military, the regular military there, that's fine too. That's what the military is for, is to protect us. The big issue at hand is that they're not only trying to make it look like Trump's a bad guy, they're just trying to get our country invaded with people who are here to damage it. And that's why I think that George Soros is at the beginning of it, because that is his goal. And if we continue to let all of this happen, he's going to end up winning. I keep thinking, is he never going to die? I mean, he's got to be pushing 90.
Yep, he is. He is.
And I just keep thinking, how come we have to have something like that? And I don't know whether you didn't talk about it today. Earlier this week, there was an article, it was actually day before yesterday, that there were 99 MS-13 gang members arrested.
Right.
And all of them had entered the U.S. as unaccompanied minors. And those unaccompanied minors came in basically during the Obama administration, because we just kind of like, let's just let all of them in. We've got to take care of them. We've got to be humane to them. We've got to give them everything. Well, there's lots and lots of people who came, and many were, really legitimately probably trying to flee, the types of country that they were living in for something better. But along with those who come in, there's tons and tons that come with these refugees, and it doesn't matter where they're coming from, that are coming in to cause damage and kill us and to try to harm our country. They're not coming here for a better way of life. They're coming here for nefarious reasons.
Well, last night in Escondido, California, I'm sure that you followed this story. The city of Escondido was having a vote as to whether or not they were going to stay with Governor Jerry Brown's sanctuary policies, or if they were going to go with what the law is with the federal government. And the vote was 4-1 to stay with the federal government and basically tell Jerry Brown he's all wet, which people knew for a long time. One gentleman stood up and he said, my mother brought me here to America 40-some years ago. And we went through the proper channels to be citizens and eventually business owners and taxpayers in this country. Why should we allow everybody to come in at their whim and their command and do things illegally? And I thought, attaboy, that's the attitude that we should have.
Well, and if California, and it seems like this is starting to take hold, if the common sense people in California, and there are a lot of them, it's just that the ones who are really, really left and way out there are the loud voices. There are a lot of good common sense people in California that want to save their state, let alone their country, and they start speaking out, and then more of them will jump on board. And that's why I think you're seeing this happen in many communities, is that they're saying, are we going to jump on board with California and say, just come in and take over our state, or are we going to say, no, we can't do this anymore. Look how much it's cost our state and what we've lost so far on it. And I think as they start seeing others do it, they'll pick up the baton and say, we're going to join with them. And eventually there will be enough of them screaming and hollering that maybe the people in California who make the laws will go, it's time for us to jump on the bandwagon and say we're not in favor of losing our state. And that's how it kind of gets started, is if you'll have one person that will stand up and say no, and we saw that happen a few weeks ago down towards San Diego, when that community, it was just a really tiny community, said, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to be a sanctuary city. And there's been some others that have caught on and decided to get on board with them and all kind of get together and go against their Governor Moonbeam, why in the world he's ever the governor again there is beyond my comprehension.
Rita, you're a student of history and of politics, and let me ask you this. Let's say that you and I and Glenn and Deanne and all of us, we got about, 1,200 or so, that we said, you know what? We're going to invade Mexico. We're going to get down to Nogales, and we're just going to cross the border, and they can't stop us. Here we come, Mexico. We're going down to a resort, and we're going to march right through your country. What do you think would happen?
I can see it in my mind now. There's going to be a bunch of guards along there, and they're going to have those bullets over their shoulders, and they're going to have guns aimed at us, and they're going to say, you're not coming in here. Turn around and go back, or we're going to shoot you.
Amen. Why in the world are we, the United States of America, being subjected to these totally brainless twits that absolutely say, no borders, everybody come on in? I am absolutely fed up with this, and we send our military overseas to defend other countries' borders, but we won't defend our own? This is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it is, and it just shows you that there is actually an agenda different than trying to make America good and keep us sovereign and retain our liberty. There's one other group that I wanted to mention that it looks like that there's one of these anti-groups involved with, and that's the teacher strike over in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
This Antifa has invaded that and is taking it a lot further than it needs to go. And I think these teachers have been pulled in because there was other people that were louder voices than them. I think if I was a teacher there and I got the approval that they got for their partial thing, it'd be kind of like, okay, we'll go back to work, and before we come back to work in the fall, we want to have something different. But instead, they've got them all, we're going to march now 100 and so many miles down the road, and we're going to do this and that and the other. And meanwhile, the kids aren't getting to finish up their last few months of school, or few weeks, really, is all that's left. And the other part that's bad is every one of them, when you've heard them, speaking to reporters who were interviewing them, said, well, it's because of my kids. I love my kids, and I want to make sure that they have the things that they need. I need a raise, but we need money for our schoolrooms and that type of thing, and the kids are the important part. Well, that was a little contradictory if you're out of the classroom and they're not getting to school and you're protesting.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Rita, I'm an old man, and I remember this story as it occurred. I'm sure that because you're so much younger than I am, you don't remember this, but I'm sure you read about it. Chappaquiddick?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I remember when it happened.
Basically, the story about Ted Kennedy and the death of Mary Jo Kopechne and the cover-up and the big money and the bribes and everything else, well, it was made into a movie simply called Chappaquiddick. And this movie, Chappaquiddick, is scheduled to be released today, and even as late as Monday of this week. There were big money people on the left that wanted to stop that movie from opening. Oh, gee, I wonder why.
Well, we all know the reason why they would like to stop it. My big question is, why did this not come out 25 years ago?
Absolutely.
We were worshiping Ted Kennedy then.
Yeah.
We certainly can't bring up anything about the way that he conducted himself before he got to be the one that we should all worship.
But, the cover-up, and I'm going to use that word, and the lying, and there's a line in the film, and I'm not giving it verbatim, I'm doing it out of memory. We're going to tell the truth, or at least our version of the truth.
Yeah, well, that's the way that they figured that they could get off of it, was like, well, if we're not caught for lying, we won't be prosecuted, and And if we just don't tell the whole truth, everything will probably be okay. I mean, is it the truth or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
The big question.
Absolutely.
And that was my question all those years ago, and yours, I'm sure, as well.
Yep.
And many other people. But why did they not go forward with it? It just tells you that you can buy your way in wherever you want, and it doesn't matter if you're in the right party, according to the news media.
I had a fairly good friend call me about 5-6 days ago, and he knows that I'm a supporter of what's going on with trade and tariffs and the economy, and he was chastising me, and he said basically that how can you support Trump and these tariffs when he is ruining our trade with other countries and creating a trade war? And I blew my stack. I lost my temper, and I said, wait a minute. Do you realize that in most cases these so-called trade agreements always put us, the United States, at the low end of a very dirty stick, and the differences percentage-wise of what goes to other countries as compared to what comes to us is as much as 35 to 40% different in favor of other countries beating us on prices. And I said, I'm in favor of what Trump is doing.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people who just hear what's on the news and they don't really investigate it quite thoroughly. I know there's a lot of issues with trade, and our area is deeply involved because of our farming and so forth. The big problem is that government got too involved with farming too many years ago, and it's pretty tough to start backing out of a lot of this stuff without just totally breaking people's backs. But somewhere, somehow, you've got to start saying, you know what? We've got to get this right. It's just not the thing that's right for America, and I don't know the answer to it, but I do know that we need to put America first, because when it comes right down to it, is somebody going to be here to protect us like we've protected the rest of the world when they have their backs up against
Absolutely.
the wall?
You know, and here's the thing. I had Dave Roper on my program about 10 days ago, and Dave is one of the sharpest young agricultural farmers and ranchers that I know, and he said that, hey, this is all going to come out in the wash because Trump's attitude, we're not going to take any guff, we're not going to take any abuse, we're not going to take getting kicked off the front porch and having to sit on the back porch and wait for a bone. He said, we're going to see things change to where the world is going to realize America is back. They're the number one country in the world. They're not going to take any guff, and we cannot put trade agreements in front of them that aren't going to be beneficial for both sides.
Well, I think that's absolutely right, and even though the tariffs have been threatened and everything, you can see how it's brought a lot of countries to attention.
Yep. Absolutely.
And nothing has really happened yet. They haven't put in place anything yet. And so for people to get really all up in arms about it before anything happens, I think is quite amazing. How long did it take for Trump to say, we're sending our military and the National Guard to the border, before those people who are coming here started thinking, should we continue on, or should we see if we can wait it out?
Absolutely.
We don't want to storm the border for all, intents and purposes. But I think that's the way that Trump is. It's like, okay, this is what the deal's going to be. And if we can come up with something that's amicable for us and for you, then maybe we won't have to do that. But otherwise, get ready for it.
Absolutely. Rita, I just looked at my clock and I went, oops, I forgot the weather. I've got to get this on quickly. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. They are respected. They are known as being the best with tax return preparation, tax planning, financial statement preparation, retirement planning, bookkeeping services. Call the best, work with the best. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Right now, here's the weather.
Gina J. Jameson. Yes, we're going to see just a little bit of sun, then rain for the rest of the weekend. As a matter of fact, for today, mostly cloudy, a chance of rain, a high of 59, showers likely tonight with a low of 42. Tomorrow, rain in the morning, then mostly cloudy, 59 the high, rain coming back for Friday night with a low of 46. Showers for Saturday, a high of 57. Showers and breezy for Saturday night with a low of 38 and rain on Sunday. That's your 7th Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
Thank you, Scotty. And the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. They're busy right now. Tax time right around the corner. Don't forget the very best working for you. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Rita, I've got about 4 minutes left here, and I've got to ask you, have you ever in your lifetime, I have it in mind, seen a more concentrated effort right now for gun control that is started up after the Parkland, Florida absolute horror, but now it's being picked up by many, many people? There was a letter in the paper, the Times News this morning, that was very poorly written by Linda Sturman, and basically some of her points of interest that she wanted to see on gun control were absolutely off the wall stupid. And then we pick up a story that came out of Deerfield, Illinois, where their village board of trustees approved an ordinance to ban assault weapons, and they said if you do not turn in voluntarily your guns, you will be fined $1,000 a day until the weapons are confiscated. Does that remind you of another country, another time in history?
Well, it does, and that's what happened when any person who wanted to be a dictator decided he was going to take over the country, and it didn't matter whether it was in East Germany, didn't matter whether it was in Russia, Croatia, or China, down in Venezuela, any of those places. The main way of taking over and being in charge of those countries, Cuba included, who is supposed to be a wonderful place, they made sure that their citizens did not have a way of defending themselves. And that was the reason that we got the Second Amendment to begin with, is so that we would not ever be left without a way to defend ourselves from someone who was tyrannical. And so, like I said, it doesn't matter whether it was in the 40s or the 30s when East Germany was starting to try to take over and Russia was in the middle of things, or later on with Russia, or earlier on, or even more recent with the Chinese. You take away people's ways of defending themselves, and you're going to have a tyrannical government, and pretty soon you'll have a dictator. And that's what is happening. These people in Illinois who decided to do that need to just look no further than Chicago on how well that's worked out for crime. The only people that have guns there are the criminals, and they're the ones who are causing much of the problem. And you can take away and say you're going to take away everybody's guns. You won't take away everybody's, just the people who are honest. The criminals will still have them.
That's right. That's the point right there. You've hit the point. Evil and crime and criminals are not going to ever turn in their weapons. But what really bothers me is how this is a very basic assault on the Constitution and the Second Amendment, and they don't care. Deerfield, Illinois basically is saying, we don't care about the Second Amendment. We don't care about what's legal for our citizens. We're just going to have a confiscation, and if you don't turn them in, we're going to fine you $1,000 a day. Woo, that's a little scary.
I think if I lived in that community, I would be demanding that they take a Constitution class, those people who voted for that, and then have some kind of a Constitution thing that starts shouting out, do you understand what is happening here? You can't do this. This is just not going to work out well. These people are obviously very, very stupid, not to mention ignorant of history.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Right there you've touched on another major point. I would think that the citizens back in Deerfield, which is a suburb of Chicago, I've been there many times, they would have stood up and said, you can't do that. It's absolutely not only against the law, but it's against the Constitution. You can't do that. And I thought they would be in an uproar when this happened. Do you mean to tell me this is a sign as to how absolutely unknowledgeable the general public is about what our rights are in this country?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the same thing happened in New York. You can't own a gun in New York. you can't own a gun in other places around the, Washington, D.C. and places like that. And yet you would think they would be the places that are strong in the Constitution.
Yeah. Well, now that you got my blood pressure up about 200 over 100.
Okay, I'll run.
No. I absolutely enjoyed the visit this morning, Rita. Thank you so much for coming on the program every week. We go into quite a few different subjects. I didn't get into another story I wanted to talk to you about, but we'll save it for next week, about second graders given a white privilege paper. We'll talk about that next week.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, take care. Rita Ramsey, thank you very much for being on the program this morning. Every Thursday, I appreciate her. Deanne just walked in, and I know she feels the same way I do. About this time of the morning, after we get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I get so hungry. And I'm starving to death. I know some great places to go for lunch. You ready? I'll take you on a ride. Here we go. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, the famous Farmer Brown burgers. They are phenomenal. My grandsons love them. Order of fries with special sauce and maybe a special shake. Ooh. Or how about this? Shrimp and small fry, just $7. All of this and much, much more at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, let's head over to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. This is a great place. They've got those new pork burritos with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. Knock your boots off delicious. And check out the breakfast burritos. Everything on the menu is phenomenal at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Moving over now to two locations of Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley, and they've got that mushroom burger combo. Listen to this. Only $5.99 after 3 p.m. Quarter-pound hamburger with all the goodies, fries, and a drink. Oh, my goodness, that's fantastic. And every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner, only $5.99. Wonderful people, great menu. Burgers Etc. Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, let's head on over to Steve-O's. Oh, yeah. Food made the way you love it. At Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. I'm drooling. Listen, don't forget they got cupcakes galore. Say that fast 5 times. Different flavors every week. They've got buffalo burgers, and they've got different soups, and they got super salads. What are you waiting for? It's all there for you at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. All right, here's what's happening for the rest of the morning. At 10:10, we will have Cassia County School Days. We're going to have Kim Bedke on the program this morning. Then our business salute is going to be with Jeff over at Lee's Furniture. And then we're going to talk about our cybersecurity and our own personal security, as far as everybody knowing too much about us, with Todd McNutt at 10:32 this morning. So don't go away. Zeb at the Ranch and Old Wheels is going to take us up to news. We'll be right back. Good morning. How you doing? I hope fine and dandy. Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday, April 5th. And we've got one more hour to go, and then I'm going to say goodbye for the weekend, and I'm going to jump up out of this chair and adios. Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to a couple of days of R&R. Good morning to you, and our thanks go to our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations with a big spring tire sale. They're our major sponsor, and we thank them very much. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, along with some of our great advertisers. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue. You hear it. Suite 2 in Burley. You be sure and get a hold of them today, because they're helping you get back to being you. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, we're going to have Cassia County School Days, and I want to remind you the Bennett Boys Auction Service is going to have a ripping good sale coming up on this Saturday at 11 o'clock over at Castleford. Look for the signs. It's going to be at 3745 North, 600 east of Castleford, and it's the Gary Incorporated auction. They're going to have tractors, and they're going to have travel trailers. They're going to have all kinds of farm equipment, horse items. I mean, they've got it all right there at this sale. Gary Incorporated auction, 11 o'clock Saturday, this coming April 7th. You bet. Managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Want to remind you, too, about Airvana. And it's defined as the ultimate level of comfort you'll achieve with the presence of a new Lennox home comfort system. And when you buy a new Lennox system at Ramsey Heating and Electric, you can get up to $1,700 in rebates. I'm not kidding. Airvana, just another great way to make you feel better. So call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459 or visit ramseysonline.com. We have been very, very blessed on this program to have a segment that has really, really gone on for quite a period of time, and it gets bigger and better all the time, and that's, of course, Cassia County School Days. And it's sponsored by two wonderful sponsors, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got all the new spring clothes and all kinds of selections for baptisms, and they've got all the baby furniture and birthday presents. My goodness sakes, you better get in there today. And they also have the Cherokee scrubs. A lot of people love the comfort of those Cherokee scrubs at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And, of course, the other sponsor, Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. And you can bet they're going to save you money on your outpatient surgeries, like life-saving colonoscopies and tonsillectomies, all of this and so much more, with great doctors serving you at Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland in Burley, and the number 677-8888. A Child's World and Ambulatory Surgery Center bringing you School Days in Cassia County. And with us today, and I think we've had her on the program before, the Federal Programs Coordinator for Cassia County, Kim Bedke. Good morning. How are you?
Morning, Zeb. How are you?
Well, I am just peachy on this wonderful April spring day. What does that mean, Federal Programs Coordinator?
Well, Zeb, we do Cassia School District, along with all districts in the state of Idaho and across the nation, receive monies and funding from the federal government for various programs. And so I am the coordinator over those programs, which are the budgets and the programs that come along with that.
Okay. And that leads me to talk about a subject that I know is near and dear to your heart, the 4th Annual College and Career Day that's going to be in the Cassia School District. Tell us about that.
Perfect. Thank you, Zeb. So, yes, we are through federal programs. We are sponsoring our 4th Annual College and Career Day. And our objective for this, Zeb, is to bring together our students. This is our juniors and our seniors this year in all of our communities, 800 kids. And we are bringing them to Burley High School on the morning of April 19th. We have over 50 vendors, and that would be businesses in our area, along with colleges and universities, coming to our district to talk with our kids.
What about, Kim, and I'm not going to weaken on this with anybody. I think it's been long overlooked. What about trade schools?
Trade schools, did you say?
Yes,
Absolutely.
I did.
In fact, we do have, from Idaho State University, they are bringing their technology trade school, and we have trade representation from CSI also coming.
You know, Kim, everybody I talk to on a national level, I have never seen in my lifetime more opportunity for the youth of today than what's available for job careers. I don't care if they want to be an electrician. They can basically set their own wages because we need electricians. We need plumbers. We need contractors. We need a whole bunch of people, and the sky's the limit if the schools, like what you're doing through this career day, will sit down and just really tell these kids, hey, if you've got the ability, there's jobs out there.
Absolutely, Zeb, and that's our objective, is that we know that a certain population of our students are bound for 4 years college. That's not all of our kids.
That's right.
So this career day is to bring opportunity for all of our kids. And that is, we also want our students of the Minnecaja area to know this is a great place to stay after school, after high school. We have business opportunities. We don't have just jobs available for our kids. We have careers available in our area from multiple businesses.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So teaming up, those partnerships, we want to, number one, honor the multiple businesses that support our schools and our communities. We want to honor them by bringing them in, letting them tell their story to our kids, and start to create those partnerships even more.
Let me ask you, Kim, and I'm not trying to be negative about anything you're talking about, but I'm asking a question right now. Why did the complexion of this issue change over the years to where it wasn't amplified that, hey, college, okay, fine if you want to go, but there's other opportunities? How come we pushed college so much that we got ourselves into this predicament?
Well, I think that there are probably, some various reasons. We do know on the end of college and four-year institutions that there is a sect of commerce that does require a four-year degree. How did we get so heavy-handed talking about college only? Zeb, I guess I don't have the answer for that. The only answer I have is that we are now countering that with bringing in conversations to our schools and to our kids.
Absolutely.
That do include trade schools and careers that can be built right out of high school.
Absolutely, and I applaud you for what you're doing. And I get really riled, Kim, when people say, well, like those advertisements on television sometimes saying that we're at the bottom of the bucket education-wise in Idaho. No, we are not. It's people like you and Cassia County and others that are really leading the charge. I think this is exciting to have this kind of an event. Can you give us a little bit as to how it's going to be structured, what the kids are going to do, how it's going to be presented, that type of thing?
Absolutely, I can. So our kids will have, by 8:30, 8:45 in the morning, we'll have 800 juniors and seniors at the King Fine Arts Center. And there are three activities going on. So the first is just a trade show, or not just, but there's a trade show set up in the foyer of the KFAC. We will have colleges and universities. We will have military. We will even have our own fire department.
Really?
And, from search and rescue people there.
Good.
Up on the stage, we have representation from manufacturing, agriculture, business and real estate, service industry, health, and military. And I'd mentioned military.
Right.
So our kids will be able to rotate and just go through those vendors. We'll have a map at all of the schools so the kids know before they get to the high school where they're going. And then we have a wonderful opportunity. We have H&L Real Estate. Teresa Loya, the broker over there, she is sponsoring a Greg Schweitzer from Boise. He is coming down, and it's a small group discussion about this gentleman just related to life after high school.
Mm-hmm.
What is necessary once you get out of high school to have those skills, to be productive, to be reliable, to be a member of society that contributes. So we'll have our schools rotating through mini sessions with Greg.
Wow.
And then the last hour, we're excited about this also. We have area business men and women that will sit on a panel. All of our kids will come into KFAC, and we will have them talking about what does it mean to be employable in Cassia County? What does it mean to be hired for a job? Those soft skills. And we have Dave Nebaker from Fairfield Inn, Maritza Vega from CSI, Jose Rementeria from PCA, Megan Reynolds from Trio, Ben Smalley from the hospital, IHC, and Anthony from Lynch Oil.
You know, I think, and I'm sitting here listening to you, and it sounds like you've got all of the ducks in a row, if you will. And I love this attitude because right there, being employable, I think that's an issue that really needs to be discussed, not until they're juniors and seniors, but all the way from freshmen, to the point where they can't wear the baggy breeches hanging down with ear rings and all this kind of thing. Employers still want classy people, and students need to realize that.
Absolutely, and we are hoping, as this is our 4th year, but this is the first year, Zeb, that we are doing it during the day, that we will actually be busing students in. It has been at night before, but we are hoping. We had thought about the idea of having our 9th graders attend, and just the logistics. So next year we'll see how this goes, and we may open it up 9th through 12th graders.
You know, when you talk about juniors and seniors, though, Kim, you'd know this better than anybody. I'll bet you that a lot of the seniors probably still have a huge question mark hanging down on their forehead going, they don't have a clue what they're going to do in just a matter of a few months, do they?
You know what, Zeb? They don't. And while we want to provide these opportunities, you know, earlier on in their high school career, we also, as professionals and adults, have to understand that at 17, 18 years old, these kids don't have their futures all mapped out.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the question has been raised, is it too late to do this since they're seniors? Absolutely not. We need to provide that direction and these opportunities well after they graduate.
No, I agree with you. And I just wish they would have had, they being the school I attended back in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, would have had the innovative people with innovative thought like you folks do. I mean, man, this would give me a lot of inspiration and open up doors of opportunity to where you can visit with these people. You can find out what kind of education is necessary, what they have to do to achieve the goals to become in that career. I think it's exciting.
So do we, Zeb, and we're excited for this. We cannot say enough about the businesses, the business people, and our community here in Cassia County and Minidoka County. And again, it's about us while also providing opportunity for our students, but honoring and valuing our community members and our businesses.
Let me ask you one other question, Kim, that just hit me. What about parents coming to this and meeting with their son or daughter on this career day? I don't ever like to exclude parents, but, in this case, if there's a chance that they can figure out a new highway to run on and maybe go to college or a trade school or something, what about the parents coming down and being a part of this?
Zeb, we will. We did not. We didn't include that this year. However, in the actual, formalities. But any parents listening, you are more than welcome to show up at Burley High School at the King Fine Arts Center on April 19th to see what is going on. We always welcome parents. Cassia School District is an open door policy for parents. And I wrote that down, Zeb. That's what great teamwork is about. I have that written down because we will start planning for next year on April 20th.
And I didn't mean
a note to include our parents more intentionally.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot on that, but boy, if John goes home at night after school and the parents go home after that meeting and they really get their inspiration worked up and plant a little fire in the belly, if you will, of those students as to really pursuing some particular career, oh boy, I think that could be really the talk of the dinner table at every home. I think the parents need to be involved.
Absolutely, and you did not put me on the spot. You just got my mind racing and all of these things that we can continue to do. So, in fact, I just thought we will actually send a flyer home. We have a way to send flyers to parents, and it may say something like, ask your students about this.
Absolutely.
We'll send a flyer home. So
I think it's...
Thanks for the idea.
Kim, I'll tell you what, I think this is a phenomenal idea. Give us a quick thumbnail sketch about who, what, where, why, and when one more time, because I'm almost out of time. Perfect.
It is April 19th at Burley High School, the King Fine Arts Center. our 11th and 12th graders from Burley High, Kasia High, Oakley High, Raft River High, and Declo High School will be attending, almost 800 kids, from 8:30 to 11:30. And again, over 50 local businesses and Idaho colleges will showcase their information and bring it to our students at Kasia.
That's wonderful. This is going to be a great event, folks. Kim Bedke, the Federal Programs Coordinator, I thank you for coming on the show, and please don't make yourself a stranger. Come back again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Zeb, so much, and have a good weekend starting today.
Thank you very much. Nice lady right there. And what a great event. Man, I'll tell you what, to go and maybe talk to somebody from a certain school or talk to somebody from a certain business and really plant a seed of, wow, I want to do that. What do I have to do that? Well, you find out the education requirements and everything. That is great. Our thanks go out to our sponsors again for Kasia County School Day, a Child's World and Ambulatory Surgery Center. Thank you for bringing, I've almost said it twice, Kasia County School Days. Thank you very much on Zeb at the Ranch. Got tongue-tied there a little bit. When I get excited, sometimes that happens. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and we are going to visit with one of our great advertisers, and I get a kick out of this guy. I mean, he's an avid sports enthusiast, and boy, he's at all the games yelling and screaming, "Go, team, go!" Well, he's also the main man over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Hello, Jeff Bronson. How are you?
Well, I'm doing well, Zeb. Thank you. How are you this fine day?
Well, if I was any better, I'd have a runaway. What's happening over at Lee's Furniture? Everybody wants to get spruced up for springtime, and I know that you've got some great ideas.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this a little bit. You know, Zeb, this is a great time of year for people who want to refresh their homes. We have on sale right now a huge selection of brand new carpet and luxury vinyl tile planks. These are all the rage right now, Zeb, and here's why. Luxury vinyl planks are wonderful because they're easy to install. They're very durable. They work fantastically around moisture, high traffic areas. And if by chance you ever happen to damage one, you can simply replace the plank and put in a new one. So they're really functional and they look great.
Oh my goodness! You know, I'm going to be in touch with you on that subject for my personal home. So I'm going to figure out more information and questions to ask. And along with that, you've got all kinds of sofas and love seats, and my favorite piece of furniture, recliners.
Yeah, that's right. You know, as soon as you redo the floor, you know, when the weather clears, there's no longer any mud, you put that new floor in, then you look at that old couch. You know, we have great buys. We just received several new shipments of sofas, love seats, and recliners. So, Zeb, if you were to come in right now, you'd see that we have a lot of recliners. We have specials on our sofa love seat sets, some starting at like $699 for both pieces. For those who are interested, we do have available up to 3 years, interest-free, if one wants to put that in on payments. Also, in addition to that, we have a special on our mattresses. So if you want to throw out that old mattress, get that new one. You know, it's just a perfect time, Zeb, to refresh, open up the windows, let the fresh air in, and redo the house.
You know, it is, and you've got people over there that we've discussed in the past that they know they can help people with maybe creating a new ambiance or personality in their home, can't they?
Yeah, we have Hillary and Emily here. They're here every day to help with free consultations. We have window coverings. They both specialize in that area. They can answer any question as far as specific colors, styles, fabrics, things of that nature. So I would invite anyone to come in and visit with these young ladies. They're fantastic and offer great help.
You know, I was always going to ask you, Love Seat, how did that get its name? Was it just purely designed for somebody to sit with their spouse or their lovey and just gaze in their eyes and hold their hands? Is that what it came from?
You know, over the years, I've been asked a lot of questions, and I can answer most of them, but that's one I still don't know.
Aha! We gotcha.
Well, really and truly, though, I'd like to invite all your listeners to come in and visit us. We do have a new shipment of carpet ribbons that just arrived, also new vinyl rolls. We have fantastic installers. This is a busy time, but we still have some openings with our installation schedule to where if a person wants to come in and have the floor covering installed, we can help them in every way, and also with the furniture.
Okay, now, what are the hours that you're open at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More?
That's a great question. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., on Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Feel free to call us. Our phone number here is 878-2341. We can answer any questions over the phone, and we have staff here each and every day ready to help answer any questions.
You know, how do you learn? I was going to ask you this on a program that we had previously, but how do you keep up on all the trends and all the differences in furniture or carpet or whatever? I mean, that must be an ongoing study, isn't it?
You know, that's a great question. I do read the trade magazines, and of course we go to the furniture shows from time to time, but really we listen to the staff. And they listen to the customers, and then what they do is they share with us what they're looking for. We actually try to pay attention to everything that they say, and of course there's a lot of information out there, Pinterest and other things that have wonderful, great current styles, and we have fantastic staff that really follows those trends closely and orders accordingly.
You know, when you order and everything, that has got to be a great, interesting job in itself, but you're putting together a business, a store, where you're trying to show all the different personalities of the various furniture and all the carpeting and everything, and my hat's off to you because, man, you've done a tremendous job.
Well, thank you, Zeb. You know, it is a little bit of a trick. You know, sometimes people want to come in and they want to see the new things, and it's easy for stores to want to order what people have purchased in the past. And so we like to think that we have a fine balance of carrying what's current and modern, and also a flair to show what's available current going forward as well. And so hats off to our staff who do a wonderful job ordering.
Absolutely, folks. It is spruce up for springtime, and this is the place. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, 459 Overland and Burley. Jeff, God bless you, man. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Zebby. It's always a pleasure. You have a great day.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. I just think the world of those folks over there at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. They are really good, and they can help you, too. Go in and ask all the questions you want about your home decorating, home decor items, everything. They can help. I guarantee it. We're going to send this back over to our main studios in just a second. I want to remind everybody that coming up next hour, we've got a gentleman by the name of Todd McNutt that's going to be coming on, and we're going to be talking about, hey, maybe we don't have the security and the privacy that we think we do. And we're going to have him coming up at about 10:32 this morning. A quick note that I wanted to get this on, the fishing seminar. There we go. The Idaho Fishing Game and our dear friend Kelton Hatch, they're going to give and provide a college credit. I'm not kidding. It's called Wild About Fishing Workshop. That's going to be at the Jerome Department of Fish and Game. It's going to be Friday and Saturday, April 13th and 14th. And honestly, you can earn a college credit for this. Wild About Fishing with our great buddy, the incredible bulk, Kelton Hatch with the Idaho Fishing Game. Don't miss that. Right now, let's send it over to our main studios. I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb.
Oh, thank you. Deanne just brought me some really great news. It's starting to rain outside. Oh, boy. It's springtime in the Magic Valley. Well, we're going to get right into it, and we have now... Wheels?
Yes, sir. You already know what I'm going to say. I left him a voicemail, but I'm going to try to go ahead and call him on the alternate number. And,
okay, you go ahead and try to catch him. I'll go ahead and fill in with some other stuff, and please catch that man, okay?
Will do.
All right, thank you. A little bit of a problem, evidently, with our guest, Todd McNutt, and hopefully... Hopefully Wheels can find him, and up to that point, if we don't find him, I'd like you to give me a call. 436? No. Yes, it is 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I've said this before. You can repeat a telephone number or a couple of numbers at least 1 million times on this program, and then all of a sudden you have that little brain bubble that goes, what's the number? Anyway, we're going to try to get him on the air hopefully in just a few minutes. Until that time, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Good news that you probably will not hear on ABC, CBS, NBC. You've got him?
I do, yes.
All right. Well, you realize you can put your gold star on the wall because the lost is found. Thank you very much. All right. Let's start all over again. Privacy expert and whistleblower Todd McNutt. Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. It's good to be here.
I was afraid for a moment we couldn't find you this morning, but I'm so glad you're on the program. I was reading a little bit on the information sheets about the book that you have written. I'm going to let you give the title and the subtitle because I don't think I can hold enough air to get all of that in. Tell me about it.
Well, actually, I think they've been putting it wrong on some paperwork, too. It's Other People's Secrets, Your Life Unredacted.
Okay. What do you want people to know and learn and retain from reading this book? What are you trying to tell them?
I am trying to basically expose and blow the whistle on the information industry. Yeah, one of the big things, like this whole deal with Mark Zuckerberg and the Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
It's being hyped into stuff that it's not. Because the bottom line is, Cambridge is a marketing company, and they were using Facebook to data mine to find people who had an interest in the Republican Party to send them more information about Trump as a candidate.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. That's all they were doing. But they're hyping it up into this big deal, and basically what they do is they do this every so many years. You get a big story comes up in the media like this, and they just wipe it up into a big mess, and then it all goes away.
Well, Todd, really, I got to admit that I guess I'm one of these people that's becoming almost paranoid that no matter what I do, somebody is tracking me. No matter what I buy, somebody knows on the repetitive nature as to the products I buy and how often. Is there any way we can go back and really hide from society, or have they got us?
What I'm trying to do, well, for one, I've been volunteering for the last 2 weeks. Since they announced they were going to do they were doing Senate hearings, and they've invited Mark Zuckerberg and the CEO of Cambridge to come. I have volunteered and said, hey, if you'll invite me, I'll come. Because one of the first things is they need to be asking the right questions when they talk to these guys so that they understand where the future lies. But they've already got the answer. The answer is to expand HIPAA to apply to all anybody holding information on anybody else. If you have information in your database of your listeners that could specifically single me out as a listener, then you have to take extra precautions to protect that information.
Yeah, but you know the old story and the old slogans about George Orwell's 1984. I mean, I never thought in my lifetime I would see the kind of intrusion into my life and knowledge about me that we're seeing today. Is this something that's going to get a lot worse, or have they reached kind of a maximum capacity?
I'd like to say it's not going to get worse. But I think if we don't get something like HIPAA compliance spread out over the whole industry, it's going to. I have a saying that I've been using since for 23 years now, since I first started blowing the whistle 23 years ago on the information industry and talking about how bad they are. And that is, it's all about information. Who has it, who can get it, and who controls it.
You know, let me ask you this, Todd, with your expertise on this subject, and I'm going to appear a little naive when I say this, and I am naive because I don't understand it all. Has the invention, if you will, of the smartphone and everybody carrying that smartphone, have we basically turned over everything to everyone else about our lifestyles, how we exercise, what we eat? Wouldn't it be a lot better if we got away from the smartphones and went back to a more basic cause?
It absolutely would. I guess my position on it is, though, why should I have to?
Yeah.
Why should I have to give up the technology and the convenience that I have in my life because I want to be safe from someone who's going to go out there and abuse my privacy? So I think what we need to do is we just need to have our lawmakers start understanding where the privacy is going off the rails and rein it back in so that they can do it. A lot of people don't realize this, but they think that their credit report is protected and their information through the information industry. But the reality is the Fair Credit Reporting Act only protects 3 pieces of information on your credit report, and your Social Security number isn't even one of them.
Oh, my.
It's considered public record, and it's for sale by the information industry.
You know, right there, you've opened up another train of thought with more questions, but we have a caller with a question, Todd. So, caller, quickly, go ahead, please. They hung up. Todd, when you say that, our Social Security numbers, they know exactly what we're buying, etc. I mean, what's the total bottom line on this? I don't care if it's Zuckerberg. I don't care who it is. What do they want? Do they want to control us like robots with a word, again, the key factor, control? Is that what these people are after?
It's all about money.
Explain that a little bit.
Bottom line is it's all about money. The information industry, a lot of people don't realize this about the big credit bureaus. They don't make their profit. I mean, these are billion-dollar corporations, and they've been billion-dollar corporations since before there really were billion-dollar corporations in oil companies and other products. The information industry has been a billion-dollar industry, and they make their money not selling your credit report when you go to buy a car or a house. They make their money selling your personal information to marketing companies to market products to you. That information is worth more to them than your credit report or anything else they do. And so that's where they've gotten everything moved, what they call in the industry, above the line on the credit report so that it's considered public record. All they have to protect under the Fair Credit Reporting Act is your credit rating, your current limit, and your current balance on your credit card accounts. That's all they have to protect.
You know, this is absolutely scary to me because I'm an old man and I absolutely adhere to a privacy. What is my business and not yours or anyone else's. But really, it sounds to me like the big brother watching you is really the truth 24/7, 365, isn't it?
It really is. And the thing of it is, though, and this is the part that scares me. When you want to talk about scary, this is the part that bothers me the most. It's not Big Brother watching us. It's corporate America watching us, and they're making money selling what they see to other corporations, to individuals, and to government entities.
Okay, now explain that a little bit more, though, Todd. How does this happen? Break it down into a very easy nuts and bolts scenario.
Case in point, Facebook. We all go on Facebook. We post our activities. We post our likes. We post our dislikes. It's America's front porch for those of us who are old enough to remember when we'd go out and sit on the front porch in the evenings and wave to the neighbors.
Yep.
It's America's new front porch, and we all go sit on our front porch, and we share a lot of information. Well, there are these people out there, these corporations, just like Cambridge Analytica. They're watching everything you do, everything you say, who you communicate with, and that information is being cataloged, and it's for sale.
So what I'm saying to you right now on the radio, they can get via phone calls that I make on my smartphone, or they'll ascertain my purchase preferences as far as what I buy, and then they'll try to schedule more of that information to go to other companies that might utilize that information to have more sales from me. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I was at my dad's house about a month ago, and my sister, he was having trouble with the key fob on his Buick, of all things. She had just ordered him a new key fob at his computer in his living room, and I walked in, was standing there, and she just said, I said, "What are you doing here?" And she said, "I just ordered Dad a new key fob for his car." And I said, "Oh, when you get it in, just holler at me." And I said, "I'll look on YouTube and find the procedure for locking it onto your car, and you won't have to take it to Buick to get it done." I never used the word key fob, nothing. My sister just said what she was doing. I left there, and less than an hour later, I pulled my phone out to check my messages and that on Facebook and that, and there was an ad for key fobs.
Now, I got to ask you this, Todd, and again, don't laugh at me because I am a little naive about this, but do you mean to tell me that they have, in my mind's eye, these squirrely little people sitting behind desks on stools with horn-rimmed glasses listening and chuckling because they know they've got me? Is that the scenario? What goes on here?
No, it's actually computers. And the government's been doing this for decades for listening in on phone calls. You know, they've always said for years that there were certain key words that if you use those words too much, your phone calls would be screened and you'd be under surveillance.
Oh, my goodness. We've got a caller with a question for you. Todd, pardon my interruption. We've got this call coming in, and I want to make sure we have time to get all the calls. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Well, just to kind of expound on what you guys are talking about, I'm on YouTube with my smart TV, and I will get on there and I will either search or I'll go back later the next day or whatever, and I'll click on there, and then there's all this stuff there that is what's of interest to me, and so you can see they follow everything I do, and everybody is being monitored with their smartphones. And, it happens literally just like you say. It can happen within minutes, later the day, the next day. There is no secrets anymore. And it's just like jokingly we'll say to each other as we're talking over the phone about maybe some political person that we probably don't have any, we don't like whatsoever. And if you passingly say something that, that you shouldn't maybe say, you say, "Oh, my word, we shouldn't say that." See, we already feel like we're being monitored. Everything we say and do is being monitored.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
Hang up.
Respond to the caller if you would, Todd. Thank you.
Well, he's absolutely correct. I mean, it's like it's getting to the point where you've got to watch everything you say and do. On that same track, Walmart is experimenting with a system. Walmart developed the RFID in products, the radio frequency identification tag, that they can track a can of green beans from the manufacturer to the truck to the warehouse, from the warehouse to the truck to their grocery stores, and then out the front door of their grocery store. And so they can track everything. Well, what they're doing is they've embedded these in the tags of clothes and everything else. They're experimenting with a system right now that when you walk in the door of a Walmart, they will literally be able to tell the style of underwear, the brand and style of underwear you're wearing, and when you go in the store, throughout the store, they've got the monitors around the store and stuff.
Yeah.
Those monitors will start advertising to you that, okay, we sell the same brand and style of underwear you're wearing, and you didn't buy yours at Walmart.
Holy cow. You are scaring me to death, Todd. Really, I want to back up a little bit on kind of a rewind of what something you said a little minute ago. They can hear and understand and comprehend what we are saying and talking and doing during the course of the day. Isn't that basically a collusion against us on any political speeches or political thoughts or political leanings? I mean, can they control that also?
Well, they definitely can keep a track on it. And again, that's what I was saying earlier. What scares me is that Facebook can be the one as a corporation, as a private corporation. They don't need a warrant. They just need our permission, which we gave them when we installed them on our phone. So by having them on your phone, you're giving them permission to use your phone and your microphone and the camera and all that stuff. You had to give them permission to when you installed it. And they can now monitor that stuff and then turn around and they can flag you as a insubordinate against the government and turn that over as evidence to the government if you say or do stuff that doesn't fall in line with the status quo of the political realm.
Okay, now, we're talking about some major issues in this country, one of them being gun control. The left-wing zealots want to take everybody that's an innocent person and turn them into a guilty person if they're owning a firearm. This really scares me that they can have that kind of control. Is this a road that's going over a cliff and only going to get worse, or are there some answers through people like you where we can combat this and maybe get back some sanity?
There are answers, and one of them that I've been working with on a state level with governors that we're working on is rolling back the enhanced driver's license. A lot of people aren't even familiar with what it is, but a lot of the border states have already got it. But the enhanced driver's license has an RFID chip in the driver's license that the chip is owned by the Department of Homeland Security. And that chip can be tracked, it can be scanned from a distance. Well, another thing a lot of people don't know is that since 2012, all firearms sold in America have an RFID chip in them. The RFID chip, it tells when it was manufactured, the brand, the caliber, and the basics of the gun. Now, it doesn't give any identification-specific stuff, but it has the serial number and the gun, the basic information of it. Now, they've got a new device that they're getting for law enforcement that goes along with the enhanced driver's license. And being in research and development with the RFID industry over the last 5 years, I got to talk with some of the engineers at Samsung. This device can scan you in a car going by a police officer at up to 100 miles an hour.
Oh, my.
It can track and read any firearm in the car. It can read your enhanced driver's license as you go by and read all of this out on a handheld computer device that the police officer standing there holding it to go by him on the side of the road.
You know, Todd, I will sum up our interview with this. I want you to come back in the future. I want to talk more about this. But with the certain segments of our society trying to tell parents that they need to chip their children so they know where they are 24/7, 365, I'm just going to say this. I'm a very religious person, and I look at this as the acceptance of the mark of the beast. Do you think I'm wrong?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's headed there. The current RFID chip has a lot of problems and malfunctions in it. I tell people I don't see it as sufficing as the mark of the beast, but they're definitely experimenting and headed that direction.
Wow. You got to come back. Once again, I want you to plug your book and tell everybody where it is sold.
Amazon.com. It's available as an ebook or in paperback, and it's Other People's Secrets. Just search Other People's Secrets or Todd A. McNutt on Amazon.com.
You got to promise to come back, buddy. I've really enjoyed. Actually, you've scared me enough to where I really want to talk to you more about this. Thank you so much, Todd McNutt.
Call me anytime.
I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you very, very much.
You bet.
Woo! Kind of gives you a chill, doesn't it? Right up the old backbone, knowing that right now, this very minute, somebody is watching and listening to you 24/7, 365. Whoa. Well, I'll tell you what, we better have a weather forecast on here real quick. Oh, give me a chilling feeling. Scarrows meets Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. 324-7657, the number to call. Or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. I'm talking delicious meats. I'm talking marinated prime ribs. I'm talking smoked hams. I'm talking all the breakfast sausages and the bacons and the bratwurst. Oh, the list goes on and on. You better get a hold of them today. Delicious Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
Gina Jameson, yes, we're going to see just a little bit of sun, then rain for the rest of the weekend. As a matter of fact, for today, mostly cloudy, a chance of rain, a high of 59, showers likely tonight with a low of 42. Tomorrow, rain in the morning, then mostly cloudy, 59 the high, rain coming back for Friday night with a low of 46, showers for Saturday, a high of 57, showers and breezy for Saturday night with a low of 38 and rain on Sunday. That's your 7th Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
Hey, man, I appreciate you filling in, Scotty. Thank you. And the weather brought to you this hour by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. And they are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Scarrows Meats. Wow, that was an interesting segment with Todd McNutt, and I've made a note here on my day planner to have him back. What have we got cooking for next Monday? Oh, we've got some home run hitters on the program next week. Frosty Woldridge on Monday, Dan Perkins, he's really a political analyst on what's going on for our security. We're going to have our dear friends with the Salmon Select Horse Sale on, and then Daniel Van. Those are some of the guests that we're going to have on Monday's program. And some of the topics we're going to talk about will be this one in particular that I couldn't get on today. It's about a school in Raleigh, North Carolina, to where they sent out a pamphlet to all the second graders about white privilege. People are absolutely up in arms over this. We're going to talk about that next week, too. Right now, I also want to remind you about our dear friends at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Woo, baby, they're having a great big roll into spring tires sale right now. I urge you to get into any one of the 7 locations. They can and they will help you with great tires for your vehicle. That's right. Now, along with all the tires in the big spring tire sale, the very best of brake service with highly trained brake technicians, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more with the best of service to you. They really take care of you. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. Nobody better. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I got exactly 40 seconds. Go ahead.
Well, you know something, Zeb? I don't know if you know what the Southern Poverty Law Center is.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up communists. And they are monitoring everything that people do on YouTube, and they are trying to skew you to the left by teasers, icons, and I can't even begin to explain it all to you. But you see, the left, there's people sitting in their homes doing nothing but interfering in our lives and monitoring it, and they get paid however they get paid. And then all the Autobot stuff, the algorithms, and I'm telling you, Zeb, I don't know. I think we better take these phones and just wing them in the drink.
I have said that for a long time. I would love to have a gathering someday right there on the bridge in Burley and everybody chuck those dudes in the water. Hey, listen, you have a great weekend. God bless you, Randy. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks.
All right, take care. Got to get out of here. I want to wish you and yours a very, very nice weekend. Enjoy. Be careful. And remember, we'll be back here on Monday at 8:06. Zeb at the Ranch. And we always say the way things were are the way things ought to be. See you later. Wheels, have a good weekend.